Hi, today I have an important announcement to make. I started recommending to take profits for the first time in 2015 on Herbalife to sell the stock, or at least to reduce the position in Herbalife. And I'm going to make here some important comments, since I've been playing, is a way of saying, with Bill Ackman with regards to his short position in Herbalife. The fact is that I don't have anything personal against Bill Ackman or anyone else, or Carl Icahn, who appears to have a long position on the stock, or others, fund managers, that they also bought the stock but also already sold their positions. That appears to be the case. I think that if you sold the stock, for example, at $45 or $50, quite frankly, you could have waited a bit more to start selling the stock around $54 to $58. And I'm going to explain why, okay? Because this is according to a forecast that I already recorded live a few months ago, and it is available on the website for those that they wanted to rent the Herbalife stock forecast. In that forecast, I said that in case Herbalife would post good earnings, shares could rally to $54, $58. And this according to the quarter, and therefore this announcement was made ahead of Herbalife earnings. So when I made some comments with regards to that person, Bill Ackman, that before or ahead of earnings he appeared on CNBC defending his thesis, but more than that he said, or he believed that Herbalife earnings, they were going to be quite negative. I was suspicious about it, because I'm an expert reading the tape, and there is a blog post where I'm very explicit, announcing that while the $39.70 to $40.70 as price will not be broken to downside in very high volume, that would maintain a long position in Herbalife. And after the company reported earnings, there was other opportunity to buy shares of Herbalife, even at $47. You have other article on the blog of the company, doubling, if you wanted to, the size of your long position, having in mind precisely what I already announced several months ago on a video. The forecast, the range to be normal, that I would consider to be eventually feasible, the 54 to 58. Herbalife started trading at $54 for the first time today, okay? So today you start having a reason to start reducing the size of your position in Herbalife. If you wish to maintain a position in Herbalife because, for example, you believe that the company next earnings is going to report again and to beat earnings, that is your own decision. My own decision is to reduce the size of the long position, and thereafter my personal recommendation, if you are an investor in Herbalife, is to use a trailing stop, okay? If you wish then to play earnings, is up to you. But basically my work in Herbalife, it is complete, because the stock has done what I wanted him, or I saw the possibility for the stock to do, and I had that vision that the stock could do it. But the most important forecast that I did, it was last year when I bet on the crash in Herbalife. And for your information, according to the case study that is available on the website of the company, I didn't close the short position. I didn't recommend to close the short position Herbalife at the bottom, at $30 or below. I recommended to close the short position around $37, because on that video that I recorded also live in 2014, I said that the shares, the fact that the shares, they could continue going down to $30, that would become a buying opportunity and not an opportunity to remain short the stock. So I started recommending to close or to take profits in Herbalife on the short side at $37 because the first alert that we issued here to sell short Herbalife, it was around $77 to $80, so it was a very high price. It was not comparable to that individual, Bill Ackman, who started selling short Herbalife very late into the game, according to his belief or his thesis that Herbalife was going down to zero. I didn't think I didn't have the vision that Herbalife was going down to zero. So if I didn't have the vision that Herbalife stock was going down to zero, although I was short the stock, I started recommending to close the short position at 37. And by saying that the fact that you were going to see the price going down to 30, that to be a buying opportunity. So I upgraded the stock ahead of the bottom in Herbalife. And also said on that same video that in 2015 the shares they could move higher, by far higher than anyone expected, and that to be a direct result of short covering, okay? And this is one of the factors that has been happening in 2015. And also, this is the reality as it is, and other players, other fund managers, the case of Carl Icahn and others that you are aware of, down low, and others, the case of George Soros, he also bet against Bill Ackman since he opened a very large short position on the stock, and he believed that the company or the earnings of the company they were going to deteriorate. But we knew that the stock market was likely to remain within an uptrend going into 2015, and it will be necessary for Herbalife really to to post or report very negative earnings. And my vision it was that was not going to be possible. So my vision was that the shares they were going to rally, and to rally well above others or most players' expectations, including the case of Bill Ackman. It's not that I have something personal against Bill Ackman, and while in the end others might have taken this as a personal issue, mine it was completely different. I just shared with people, investors, subscribers and non-subscribers, what in fact it was my personal recommendation. And if you wanted to invest according to that recommendation that has been available for months on public articles on the web, today you made a lot of money in Herbalife. And as I repeat, if you wish to maintain a long position in Herbalife, I don't have any personal issue, in the sense that I have not seen compelling or a very strong reason to in fact close entirely long position. In fact, because also we don't know what is going to happen next earnings. So the main decision here to take profits or to reduce significantly the size of the long position is because I recorded a video several months ago where I predicted that the shares could trade between $54 to $58. Okay, this is the reason, all right, and nothing else. So more important than, I'm not here for the tops or the bottoms. I invest or trade stocks according to the visions that I had and that I recorded live. And so the reason to take profits is precisely this, the fact that today you saw for the first time the $54, okay? So where do you get this information? Well, if you visit here the website, and this information that I'm referring to, it has been available here for a long period of time. And for example, if you go here to how to use, let's just wait for this to open, and if you click on the ticker Herbalife, that is all right. So we have here Herbalife. Let's click here on Herbalife. All right, here $1 million Herbalife earnings call. Herbalife Herbalife Stock Outlook 2015 for hedge funds. So I believe it is, or this earnings call, okay, or this one of them, it contains the instructions where I make this prediction that Herbalife, the share price, could trade, in case the company would beat earnings, to $54 to $58 range, okay? And this, it is recorded, and the most important is the fact that I make an announcement on the video that while that range, that was in fact the range, if you refer to that day where Herbalife reported earnings, I mentioned that while the $39.70 to $40.70 to remain in support, pivot, to that to be bullish, okay? That's precisely what happened. Herbalife, on the day that reported earnings, the shares, they traded down to $40, okay? I think the bottom, or very bottom, it was around $39.70 or $40. When the company reported earnings, that the fact that they beat earnings and the quarter was very good, and my comments that I was shocked that, because I knew that most players, they were short the stock and one upgraded shares of Herbalife, and I think that was not reasonable, not only because it revealed their positions, which I in fact I already knew about, but in the end it is in a certain sense it is not fair, in the sense that if, like in the case of Twitter, if you had a long position in Twitter at $50 or you were buying shares of Twitter at $50, the company reported missed drastic the earnings, and if you are an analyst, you had to downgrade shares, your targets, you didn't have other choice. But the fact is that several firms didn't say anything. And that is, I believe, is not credible. It does not help investors, quite frankly, and the same I comment with regards to Herbalife. And in particular also that individual, Jim Cramer, that said that be careful about Herbalife, even after he saw earnings of the company. The fact is that you had to disregard these comments, because there were, or there are, other interests around this company and this stock in particular, and in the end I think that I've been quite clear. If you didn't disregard or neglect these comments, you didn't. The fact is that so far, in one of the best performers in the market in 2015, in the end you didn't make anything. You didn't make anything, and your default, or you are in the end, your the responsibility is entirely yours, since you froze before this news on CNBC by these individuals, that their objective, it has been always to take shares down, all right, without any reason whatsoever. So also, I'm not selling short the stock, okay? So I'm recommended to reduce the size of the long position in Herbalife because of the reasons that I already mentioned here, but I'm not selling short the stock, all right? At least because my objective, or my aim, I've been very clear about this, it has been to invest in Herbalife after the crash in 2014. This is what we do. And if we go through all the case studies that we publish, most of them, or 99%, for example, the case of Cons, we bet on the crash, and after the crash, after covering the short positions, we reversed to the long side. But before, we profited from the crash. And or in the case of, for example, GoPro, or even Twitter, we always first wait for the crash to occur, and we only invest or buy shares after the crash. We never buy shares when everyone else is upgrading, or whatever the news are. We don't do that. Even the case of Umbrella, that is today I record the video, those shares 3 months ago they were trading around $52. Today they are trading above $100. Okay, we do not buy after the rally. Okay, we buy always well before the rally happens. If then people buy at $80 or $90 or $100, that is their problem. If you buy today at 54 or next week at 58 or 60 or 65 or 70, that is up to you. But we buy on weakness if there are reasons or compelling reasons to buy or to invest in the company. The most recent one, it was the $47, okay? Today, shares traded to 54. This is a very important gain. This is a very important gain. And this is according to that forecast, the video that I uploaded. But, again, I'm not here or never been here defending Herbalife or the business model. The earnings, they were quite good. I don't know what the company is going to say next earnings or next year is going to be a different matter. But the most important, as I also recently announced by closing long position in GoPro, you had that live call in the blog. You had plenty of time to make a considerable large profit in GoPro on long side, all right, as well as on the short side. And I decided also to bail out, to close the long position in GoPro. So the profit is made, it is made. Here it is the same. Okay, I wish you good luck going forward in Herbalife, but just to inform you that this information, as well as in many other companies that we discuss here, First Solar, several stocks, financials, and so on, Apple, and all these Twitters, all of them have been available. The instructions, they have been available for months on that website as video on demand, this forecast, with very clear instructions explaining where the pivots are, writing articles on the blog, helping you or one interested in the markets to follow up, and then it is up to you. But you see that the channel uptrend in Herbalife, it has been perfect. You see, you never had a reason to close a long position 100% in Herbalife, because the investment opportunity in Herbalife, it has been perfect. All right. So this is this to say what, that most people, they are focused on the short term, what is going to happen tomorrow or the next day. They don't let their profits run, and that is an important mistake. Up to the point when you see your target, if you have a target, then you have to make a decision, or you reduce the size of your position. If you decide then to stay in, at least you should use a trailing stop to protect the profit that you already made. Okay? If then there are some investors, or Bill Ackman comes in and decides to cover the short position and sends the shares to $70, that is the bonus that you have, is what we call the cherry on the cake. All right? So I wish you good luck going forward in 2015, and I hope that I've been helpful explaining the process for those that they wanted to in Herbalife. Not only, I repeat, in 2014, because that was in fact probably the most important, since the profits on the crash, they were by far superior, compared then to the bull market phase in Herbalife, and I'm referring to the $30 all the way up to this 54. Okay, thank you.